Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen, also known as Boston Jen on Ravelry and Boston Jen 1 on Instagram. This is my crafty channel where I talk about all sorts of creative pursuits and some productivity hacks and things like that. And I am back today for our second crafty chat with my niece Riley.
Hello.
Welcome back.
It's nice to be back.
Yeah, we have both done approximately 1 million crafty things, I think, since the last time we recorded. So we brought a few of our favorites, and I think we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. We've got all different kinds of crafts that we're going to talk about today. And then just to build a little suspense, we also did a Pinterest challenge. So we haven't shared with each other yet how our projects came out. So we're going to do our reveal at the end of this video. So stay tuned for so much crafty goodness. All right, Rye, why don't you go first? What do you want to show us first today?
So I'll start with something I made, I think, Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
We're just going to go with Tuesday. I ran to Michael's and I did a crafty project when I got back. And I made like a neon explosion heart type thing.
That is so cool. So you texted me a picture of this, right? Mm-hmm. It looks even cooler now that I can see it a little bit more in 3D on the video. How did you make this?
So I started by taking a pencil and just drawing the outline of a heart. And then I did all the neon kind of blending together. And I love painting with like texture. So I didn't try to smooth it. I just kind of like brushed around, almost like I was drawing with marker. Mm-hmm. Then after that was done, I went back in with black and I colored in the heart, and then I just did like the edges and then went up to this. So it kind of looks like this was on top, but really this is.
I would, if I had to guess, I would have said you painted the whole canvas black and then did the neon stuff on top of it. So if that's the effect you were going for, you definitely fooled me.
I went to, like, Michael's had a really good deal. I got 10 of these for like $5, I think.
Nice.
So that was great. And I'm really happy with how it turned out because I love like the texturing on it.
You should be. Do you know what brand of paint you bought? I'm guessing it's the acrylic paint bottles that you get at Michael's.
So I actually borrowed some from Millie, what she got from her project that she had to do for school.
Oh,
it was Artist Loft. So it was like a box with 4 different rows of paint. Some were neon and the rest were metallic. And then there was gold and silver. Fun. So I used that for this and hint for the Pinterest project. So
okay. Really cool. Do you want to see my first project that I'll share with you?
Yeah.
This might look familiar to you. This is your dad's hat that he's already owned, but the dog ate the top of it. So we put a new top on it. This is a pattern that I wrote. It's called the Ice Time hat. And this was the prototype before I did the official one that is in the pattern picture. But I gave it to Jeff, my brother, for his birthday in 2018, I think it was. But yeah, I had to pull back to maybe here and then at the top of it. And it's so funny because I obviously wrote the pattern. I think I've knit 4 of these hats and a cowl with the same pattern. It's really easy. You're only ever knitting with one color in any row. And it's really addictive and it's really easy to see kind of where you're going. But I was knitting it in the dark, watching a show with Uncle Dan, and I totally messed it up. And it took me forever to get it back on the needles. And then it didn't take forever to rip it back and fix my mistake, but I had to go back like 4 rows. I'm like, come on. Dan's like, didn't you write this pattern? I said, yes. But we all screw things up, and at least it's back together. I washed it, so I'm going to give it back to him for his birthday this week.
Amazing. That's his favorite hat.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. He switched to like a Patriots hat because it's just warm and easy to grab. Yeah. But that was definitely his favorite. So
well,
I'm excited to have it.
That's nice to hear. I've had this for a year. He brought this to me all ripped up when Millie came for her sleepover for her birthday last year. So February of 2020. So it's about time I get it back to him. So I'm glad to have that finished up.
That's cool. He's going to be so happy.
Yay. All right. What do you want to show us next?
We'll go with some knitting. So my sweater.
Oh, yeah.
It's to be at the same place, like kind of.
Yeah.
Since they saw it last. Actually, I might not have had it last time. I'm not sure.
I think you showed it last time. Either way, it's looking good.
I have to cram it all onto these needles. So
Yeah.
that's why it's all bunched up. But
yeah, you've got a lot of stitches. So you're still doing your increases, and then at some point soon we'll split for your sleeves, and then you'll have less stitches on the needles. So that'll be something to look forward to. The rounds will go a little faster. Very good.
It's been going pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Hopefully it'll be ready by either this summer or next winter. I don't think I'll be able to finish by the time, like before winter ends this year.
Yeah, probably not, but that's all right. I mean, you're getting to the age where your size isn't going to change dramatically necessarily, right? Like you wear some of my clothes. They're not, right? Like you're not necessarily going to change that much. So probably it will still fit you pretty well.
Yeah.
Whenever you finish it. Pretty cool. I've done some sort of non-traditional for me crafts that I thought I would share. I have this little notebook that was just like a freebie from some store, or when I bought something, it says, do what you love on the front. I don't know what WeWork is. I guess that's where I got it from. But it's just a little notebook, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. And then I got, as part of an Etsy package, this piece of purple cardstock was like the backer for the thing. And I just loved it. And I was like, I can't just put that in the recycle bin. I just got to do something with it. So I just started this little book, and I thought that I'll just kind of add to it throughout the month or for however long it takes. And I drew a little stack of books and some headphones because I'm listening to this on audiobook. But well, I've already finished it actually. And then I did this page with ink and colored pencils and just did some kind of doodly stuff. And this piece here, it's a picture of knitted fabric that was on a Christmas card that I got. And then this was on another Etsy package that I ordered. It was on the front of the envelope. And I was like, it's just too beautiful. So yeah, I wrote about how I love getting packages and how beautiful they are, and I just can't throw them away. This was another part of a business card. So I don't know, like it's nothing like important or like special, but it's just been kind of fun to doodle. This was a sticker that was part of something bigger, and I cut it off and stuck it on there.
It's almost like a package scrapbook. That's cool.
Yeah. And I think there's like a tradition of, I think they're called commonplace books, where you're just taking like receipts and paraphernalia from your everyday life and kind of posting it in something. So I think that there's like a tradition for making stuff like this that goes back a long way. So clearly other people have felt compelled to do these kind of things. And I might also like print out some little pictures and things and put them in there, but I have just a little thing on my desk that I'm just putting things into as I happen upon them or decide I can't throw them away, and some pens and some glue and stuff, and we'll see what happens. But it's been kind of nice, like at the end of the night, like if I've been knitting or crocheting for a little while and my hands are feeling sore and I don't want to do that, but I'm like listening to a book or a podcast and I just want to do a little something else before bed. That's been a good little thing to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, you're up, kid. What's next?
So really quick, I heard you mention that you read an audiobook. So I'm a big reader. I want to know what you're currently reading or listening to, and then I'll show you.
Yeah. So I forget. Oh, the book that I talked about in there is called I Found You by Lisa Jewell, and I listened to it in like 2 days. I was obsessed. It was a day where I didn't have work that I had to like really focus on. So it was just like data entry and stuff. And I listened when I went for a walk and when I did my errands. It was fascinating. It was about a woman in England who finds a man on the beach, and he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know why he's there or anything like that. And she's really kind to him and takes him in and tries to help him figure out what's going on. And then there's another lady in the city, I think she's in London, and her husband goes missing. And so it's kind of these two stories and how does everything come together. So it's a real kind of thriller mystery kind of book, and I really enjoyed it. So that was really good. And then just now I'm listening to The Flight Attendant, which is a series, I think a TV series on, I think it's on Amazon. And it's another kind of like a woman wakes up and in a bed that she doesn't know why she's there, and the man next to her is dead. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So some of those may or may not be appropriate for everyone your age, although I think probably you'd be fine with either of these two, to be honest with you. So what are you reading?
So I was trying to sneakily grab it, but I grabbed the dictionary.
Ah.
So I'm currently reading A Tale of Magic by Chris Colfer. I love the Land of Stories series. It was my favorite thing in 4th grade and 3rd grade, I think. Maybe just 4th. But I think it's more of an advanced book as like reading level, not really like for adults, but
Can you hold it up again? Because I might like to read it.
I
Even
read it in
A Tale of Magic.
It's really good. I like the Land of Story series better so far because I haven't really got into this. There's 7 books in the Land of Story series, and they're all about this thick.
Wow. And they're by the same author.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like his work, but it was fun because it's like mystery, but also fantasy and like drama, I guess.
Yeah.
But I also had a school book club. I read The 57 Bus. I forget who it's by.
Okay.
It wasn't really for me because of the fact that it jumped back and forth so many times from past and present. But it's about a true story where this person named Sasha is riding home on a bus, and this boy named Richard is with his friends, and they're joking around, and then they lit Sasha's skirt on fire while they were sleeping.
Oh.
And it's like this whole big catastrophe, and it was something that actually happened. So, I mean, that part was kind of interesting to hear that it actually happened.
Yeah.
So it's a great book club book because you get to go between figuring out why Richard did this.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff.
But so a lot of good things you could talk about, but you didn't enjoy the way that it was set up, like the timeline of it.
Especially the beginning, like how it would jump back and forth between Sasha's life and Richard. I get that for Sasha, I get it was trying to explain her life.
Yeah.
Because they came out as like agender, so not girl nor boy. So the book's like interesting, and it's kind of like raising awareness. But I didn't like the fact that it jumped back and forth so many.
Yeah, I think that can be a really effective strategy in writing, but I think you have to really do it well for it to be effective. I just talked about this similar kind of thing on my latest version of my audio podcast, episode 201. I listened to a book that is the true story of President Lincoln almost got assassinated on his way to his inauguration, which I never knew. And the content of the book was fascinating, but they jumped back and forth in time and back and forth between different characters that were all involved in either, the assassination attempt or the investigation or in the government. And I just didn't really love the way that it jumped around, but in other books, it's really effective. So I would say don't write off other books that might have that same thing because it might work better.
Yeah, my book was like exactly like that. Different characters, every chapter, and the chapter was like a page. But actually, Chris Colfer does it in The Land of Stories, but he does it perfectly. Yeah. So they'll go back and talk about like their dad. Mm-hmm. And it's just a smooth way, but it's also so intriguing that I'm pretty sure I finished one of the books in a night because I got so busy reading it, and I stayed up till like 3 a.m.
We've all been there.
Luckily, it was a weekend, so I didn't have school in the morning. But yeah, that's what I'm reading.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. That was fun.
And let's see, what should I do next? I've been currently, over the year, I've been doing some fun little like projects. When I get bored, I'll take like a picture of a Disney princess offline, and I'll convert it to be like a drawing and change something about them. So I
Cool.
thought I'd show that.
Great.
So it's actually on my iPad. I'll tell you the app after, but I took this picture of Moana and transformed her so she had blonde hair.
Very cool. And a different kind of outfit.
Yeah. And then Belle, kind of like a change of hair and outfit.
Yeah.
And then Ariel, also hair and outfit.
Really cool. It's amazing how like her lips, I think, are pretty well the same. So you can really still see the comparison there.
This is Penelope from Wreck-It Ralph. And she kind of got like a new look.
Sassy.
And then I did Finding Nemo. And he became Rainbow.
Rainbow Nemo.
Fun things I did. And I used an app. We don't know how to pronounce it.
I think it's something like Tayasu or Tayasui.
Yeah, that's what I think. But it works really well. And then there's also Pro if you want like more
features.
Like, fun little ways to draw. But yeah, it works really well. And I've done a lot on it.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
I should try it. So you can import a picture. So you'll take like a screenshot or something of one of those characters from the internet, put it into the app, and then it lets you like take away detail.
Mm-hmm. And you can draw over it and then erase it. So what I do is I outline it, erase it, and use the back one as like to color it in, because you only get 2 pages, I guess, to layer on top of each other.
Okay.
So I do the outline on top and the drawing on the bottom, so I don't color over the outline.
Oh.
Yes. Clever. So yeah, it's pretty fun. It doesn't take too long unless you're like being very, very precise.
Yeah. Do you have like a stylus or something you use, or you use your finger?
Both. Sometimes I'll use a stylus for the little details, but I use my finger more when I'm drawing the smaller details, I guess.
Okay.
The stylus I'll use, what I do is I'll do the hair and the skin because they're the majority of the picture, and I'll just use the stylus and do a really big color of it, and I'll go in with my finger and like touch up the little details because my stylus is kind of bigger, so it's hard to get the tinier details. So yeah,
really cool. That looks like a lot of fun.
It is.
All right. Well, why don't I show you some spinning that I've been working on? I think I showed this last time that I was working on this braid of Corriedale fiber. So this is the whole braid that I wound off onto this storage bobbin. And so this one was called Prim. And then I think I told you I hadn't yet started a braid that was darker versions of these colors. And I finished that. I haven't wound them off, so they're still on, but you can see how much richer the second one is. And this is the rest of this darker braid. This one's called fall something or autumn something, autumn colors or something like that. But I really like it. And then the third braid that I have is all going to be tones of like the yellows and mustards and a little bit of orange. And then I'm going to apply all 3 of them together. Wow. Yeah. So I'm a little bit stalled. I'm hoping I can start that third braid today, but I need to take this yarn and wind it off of here so that I have these bobbins to use on my wheel. Because there's only so many bobbins, right? So I had to wind off, I had to ply up some other yarn that had been waiting since the summer. So I didn't take that off to show you because it's not quite done yet, but I need to get that off the bobbins and then clear these, and then I'll have enough to get started on my last braid. That's awesome. So I started in January spinning 10 minutes every day. And then I was really liking that. And so I decided to do 15 minutes a day in February. And sometimes I do more, but at least then I know that I'm making progress on it. Yeah. I work on it every day, and I've been liking that. All right, lady, what else you got for us?
That's all I have.
I thought you showed some other color yarn when we were getting set up. Was I missing something. Maybe it was the packaging for your sweater yarn.
This?
Oh, maybe it was just your bag. I thought you had a new knitting project and I was very intrigued. You don't.
No.
Focusing on the sweater.
I've been trying to finish this.
Yeah. Good deal. All right. Well, why don't I show one more thing real quick, just because I've finished some socks, which are fun, and then we'll do our big reveal.
Alrighty.
So these are socks made from self-striping yarn from Knit Picks Felici, called the Vampire Vibes colorway, which is kind of a fun Valentine's-y colorway, don't you think? And I used that for everything except for the heels, because I had this other yarn that matches like almost perfectly. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's so similar. And that is leftover yarn that I had from Holly Press Fibers from some mini skeins that I purchased from her. But yeah, I love me some stripes, and I just thought those were pretty fun. Always have some socks on the go. Actually, I brought, in case I needed some knitting while we recorded, another pair of Knit Picks Felici. Aren't they fun?
Yeah. My favorite color and Grammy's favorite color.
Mm-hmm. You don't have any hand knit socks. Do you have any interest in that?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably wear them more as like comfy socks around the house.
Yeah.
Because I wear like the not ankle high socks, like they're shorter socks.
Yeah, like the sport cut, kind of whatever that's called, that go just over your sneaker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wear those a lot too. All right, well, that's enough knitting because we have our Pinterest challenge project. So, Riley, do you want to tell them sort of how we started the process and came up with the idea?
Yeah, I'd love to. So we thought that it would be fun to do a little Pinterest challenge. So we looked through Pinterest and put a board together of different fun crafty ideas. And
you invited me to the board so we could both add things to it, which was fun. I always kind of forget that you can do that.
Mm-hmm. So the majority of our board was pretty much this certain type of painting. So we said, all right, we'll do this one. And the rules were, what were the rules? Had to have a quote.
Yeah.
There were two other.
Well, the basic idea was that you would use some tape to tape off sections then you'd paint over it. So that would create some white space, and you'd pull the tape back. So it was the tape and the quote. If there was a third rule, I definitely don't remember it.
I think you were the one who said the third rule.
I did.
Let me see. I have history.
Wonder if I lived up to it.
Let's see. Oh, it's the wrong thing.
And we just started this like 4 or 5 days ago, so we haven't had a lot of time.
Yeah, I did mine the first day we figured out what we were going to do.
You did the whole thing in one day?
Yeah, pretty much. It says use tape to create white spaces, and then we can do our own take on adding the colors. So those were the two. And then I said we should also do a quote.
Perfect.
That's what we did. And I like mine. I went with more basic colors and again did texture because I used like a sponge to paint it.
Oh.
Instead of a brush.
All right. Are you going to show us what you did?
Sure. And then I'll read the quote after. That's mine.
I love those colors. And I like that there's variation in the colors too.
I used like a dark purple, which is right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I used the dark turquoise. And then I added some white to make some variations. And then the top, I did like splats of it.
Yes.
And the quote says, "No one is you, and that's your superpower."
I love that.
So I'm excited to get that up.
Yeah, you're going to add that to your creation wall back there?
Put it right here.
Ooh, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It looks great with those two underneath it too, with the colors.
I don't know where I'm going to put this though. This one's going to be a challenge. Because I was going to put it here.
Yeah.
Till I did this one side.
That one. Well, I have a feeling you're probably going to keep creating, so maybe even just wait until you make another one or two and then decide how you want to
probably.
put them up. I haven't decided where I'm going to put mine either. So unlike you, I worked on mine like a little bit every day all week. So I will just go ahead and show you. Here's mine. I had an issue where you can see my color splattered out under the tape. And I also wasn't thrilled at first at how much white space there is, but I don't hate it. And I think that, as you can see, I couldn't leave well enough alone, and I doodled all over a lot of it. And I kind of added some other flowers and some just kind of designs to it, which I think also helps make some of these little blurbs look a little bit less unintentional. And it's funny that you did your quote on the top and I did mine on the bottom. So my quote says, "To show a child what once delighted you, to find the child's delight added to your own, this is happiness." J.B. Priestley. And delight is my word of the year. So I looked for quotes with the word delight in it because I'm trying to keep finding ways to put the word delight up around me. The other thing, let me see, I don't know if I can reach it. Oh, I can. I bought these Sharpie paint markers, and I've really been liking them. I used them for another painting project recently, but they've got a pretty fine tip on them, and it really does look like paint, and it's a heck of a lot easier. How did you do? It looks like you used some kind of marker for your quote too.
I think it's the Sharpie.
Yeah.
Like
a regular Sharpie. Yeah. And that usually works pretty well, but sometimes like if there's texture or something underneath it, it just doesn't sit very well. So you might want to see next time you go to Michael's, this one says oil-based paint.
Okay.
Wonder if they're both the same. Yeah. And I got black and white, and actually they had a couple on clearance. Do you feel like the paint selection at the big box stores has been like wiped out lately?
Kind of.
I feel like our aisles, there'll be like a whole shelf or two that's empty, and then there'll be like 4 bottles.
Yeah, I went there, and there was like a couple. Like they would have big racks of like the little tubes that you could pull if you needed a certain color. There was pretty much only like yellows and browns.
Yeah, it's really picked over. And the paint markers were sort of the same way, but at a different store that I went to, they had some stuff on an end cap that was on clearance. So I got a purple one and a red one. I didn't end up using them on this one, but they're kind of fun tools to kind of have in your.
Yeah.
The other thing is that on some of these, like the little dots, the little turquoise dots on the top there, one little tip is sometimes I just use the other end of the paintbrush for that. So I just dip the back end of the paintbrush in and then use that to put little details on. So
I found the other thing that I think you might have been talking about. It was hidden under all my stuff. One of the things I also painted that day, I made a little frame.
Cool.
So it's a picture of me and my camp friends 2 years ago, but I turned it around.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I did like a pattern. I think I used sponges on this one too. So it looks a little more worn out, like up here and stuff. And
yeah, I like the way that it's blended like that.
And I did little white stars.
That might have been it, because I saw a peak of neon, and I'm like, I don't think I've seen that in the project she showed me. So you had fun with painting this week, huh?
That's what I made.
Very cool. I really enjoyed the chance to do this little challenge. Look, I still have tape on the back of my, I think it's fun to do a project where there are some parameters that you have to work within, because I wouldn't have come up with that if I just sat down to paint something, you know? Mm-hmm. So I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, I definitely think we should do like little Pinterest art challenges more often.
I do too. And I think maybe we should invite Grammy to participate in our next one, because we both talked to her before this and she was pretty jealous that she didn't know what we were working on. And Riley did not spill the beans, huh? So if she's seeing what we're up to, she's seeing it now.
I said, you're going to have to wait till the video.
That's right.
She goes, you're not even going to tell your own grandmother? I was like,
Nope, not even you. You know she watches everything on this channel, so she's going to find out. It's pretty cool that you've got a crafty grandmother. Not every kid gets to gets to do that kind of stuff with their grandparents. So that's pretty fun. Good deal. All right. So we'll have to think of another one that we can do for next time. We'll see if Grammy wants to join us. And I think that's everything we've got for today.
That's all right.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Riley, for joining us. It seems like folks are enjoying this, so we'll definitely be back with another one in a couple weeks, maybe. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up below and subscribe if you haven't already. It's a great way to make sure that you know when we put up something new, and it also helps tell YouTube that people are interested in this channel, right?
Mm-hmm. Another way you can see when something new comes up is if you hit the little bell, so that you get like a notification when Auntie Jen posts something. So if you, like I do, love her videos, as soon as they come out, got them.
Bing, you get a notification.
You can click on it and watch it right away.
Definitely. I do that for some of my favorite podcasters or YouTube content stuff. So that's great. We will put links to as many things as we can down below, including that app that Riley told you about and some of the projects that I told you about. Again, I'm Boston Jen on Ravelry, so you can find all of my projects over there, and I'm Boston Jen 1 on Instagram, so I share a lot of this crafty content over there as well. All right, Riley, we will talk to you soon. Everyone have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.